Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're working on the 1966 Chevy 1-ton today. Take a quick second to get everybody caught up in case you're new. 1966 C30 Chevy. We think maybe it used to be a U-Haul. We're not really sure. But it's just the cab sitting over on like a 1973 square body dually 1-ton frame. And it's a long frame, so our short bed doesn't quite fit. We got a little bit of work we need to do there. We're going to shorten it. But before we do that, I want to come in here. I want to lower the truck. You guys notice, man, this thing is sitting way up off the ground. I don't like it at all. So we're going to lower the truck down. I got some drop spindles. We're going to put a flip the axle onto the top of the leaf springs you guys see here. In case I forgot to mention that, well, we widened out a step side bed to make it fit over the dually wheels. You see there. That way we didn't have to widen the fenders themselves. We just widened the whole bed. So now what we got is we got a step side bed that is the same width as a short wide or a long wide bed. You see what I mean? But like I said, this thing's sitting way up too high. Let's lower it down. Let's get those drop spindles in there. Let's get some of those leaves taken out of the back. It's got a really stiff suspension right now. It's made for hauling a lot of weight. And well, her hauling days are over, so let's soften it up a little bit, see if we can't make it look a little better while we're at it. So here's the old parts truck. This has some drop spindles on it, so let's jack it up. Let's get the wheels off of it, and then we'll see about getting those spindles out of there. I think these are already pretty loose. Yeah. Yeah. We don't even need the lug wrench, cheater bar, or nothing for these. They were just barely ran up on here. All right, there's that side. Let's see if we get lucky enough that both sides are easy. Yeah, that one's not even. All right, we're good. Dig us out a spot for the jack. I'll probably just stick it right here. It'll be fine. They're not the best place for the jack, but there's no engine, no front clip, no nothing. And I could care less about that old sway bar. We don't need it. Probably ain't gonna hurt it anyway. So safe and effective is what we're going for here. No worries, we got some really cool little boards underneath there holding this thing up. We'll be all right, it's no big deal. We're just off out in the backwoods where nobody can hear us, that's all. Put all these lug nuts back on here so we won't lose them. They've got all the washers and everything with them. Usually those washers come up missing, man. We got the whole set here. Let's get this tie rod end out of the way. Hit it up with some WD-40, let it soak for a second. Now this one here is just spinning in the hole. See what I mean there? The whole thing's spinning, the stud and all. Get our vice strips on there. There we go. That's actually kind of loose already. Well, that ought to come out of there just fine now. It's probably about the easiest tie rod I think I've ever done. Okay, so next we'll hose these ball joints down, get the cotter pins out of them, and hopefully they'll be as easy as this old tie rod end was. Push this over here, give ourselves a little bit more room. I'm gonna dig the cotter pin out. I got me a little pick. Got it. I had to break the other end off, but that seemed to do the trick. Just spin this off of here. All of this is coming apart pretty easy so far. I want to jinx myself, but yeah, so far so good. We'll leave that threaded on there just a little bit for now. Now I got to get up here and try and get this cotter pin out. Look how easy that was. That's awesome. Moment of truth. Will this one come apart as easy as the bottom one did? there you have it. There you have it. Just like that, it broke loose, man. We are so lucky. I can't even believe how lucky we are. This thing's been sitting out in the weather for like probably over 10 years now, just sitting back here, no front clip on it or nothing. And again, I guess we'll leave that nut on there, kind of thread it on. It doesn't really matter. There's no spring in it. Nothing's under tension, but normally there would be a spring in there, as most of you know, and you'd want to leave that nut on there. Don't take it all the way off until after you popped it loose and all that. So we'll probably have to use our fork. We're gonna have to get in here like this to break this apart because there's no tension from a spring. The spring is gone, you see. Well, so far so good, I guess. I figured I'd have to drive a fork in there for sure. There we go, no fork needed this time. There we go. See about getting the old brake line off. This thing's seen better days. Look at that. All right, there's one side. Golly, that's heavy. Well, okay, we got to repeat the whole process over on the other side, obviously. But we're halfway there. Okay, so we got them back in the shop. We're going to do a little bit of cleaning up on them. I think I'm going to pull the calipers off and use the ones that are already on the truck. We've already got brand new brake hoses. Everything is bled, so I want to leave all that intact and just use what's there and just clean up the rotor and the spindle itself. See if we can get this caliper off. Take a wire wheel, clean all this up. We'll throw a little bit of that rust reformer on there we've been getting down at the old Walmart. Drive this little wedge out of here. Thing's been on there a while, huh? Okay, so we don't need this part. Seems to have some good brake pads on it still. Got a lot of life left on it. They're practically brand new. Let's hit it up with the old wire wheel, knock off some of that loose rust. So now we can hit it with a little bit of the old Rust-Oleum rust reformer. This stuff is about, I don't know, $8, $9 a can down at the old Walmarts. And we've been using it on this whole project and it works really good. Alright, so that looks 100 times better now, way better than what we started off with. Remember this guy over here? So, let's get the truck jacked up, get the wheels off, and let's get all that off and all this on. Alright, so we're going to have to do this one a little bit different than the one we did outside. Remember, the one outside didn't have a spring in it. So this thing is loaded under tension. You want to leave the nuts on. Just screw them till they're just almost just flush with the stud sticking out. You know, did it this one down here the same way. Now we're going to beat on it with a hammer till it breaks loose. The tension of that spring is going to pop this thing loose. And all you got to do is hit on it here and probably maybe over here. Sometimes you'll have to switch this around and go hit on the backside or whatever. But it should pop loose with that tension on the spring. And that's why we leave the nuts on for now, because if you took that off, this thing would just blow apart. All right, we got that one. Now we got to get this one. Nailed it. Nailed the light too, I guess. That's all right. This is the worst part about YouTube and trying to make these videos is the lighting. I swear I spend more time fighting with lights than anything else. So, okay, you can see now we are broke free. And that's why we keep the nuts on. That keeps everything intact so it don't just fly apart. Okay, so now at this point, this is where the jack comes into play. We're gonna put just a little bit of pressure on the jack some of the weight off, get the both of these nuts off of there, and then we'll set it down really slowly. And it's worth mentioning, sometimes you wanna tie these springs in place with either a little small chain or a ratchet strap or something, because they can fly out across the room. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take me a little ratchet strap. We'll loop it through here just like this. Poke it through the hole there like that, you see? Run that through there. Now we've got a hold of this thing. It ain't going to go nowhere. I'll attach it to something just right over here. I mean, there's lots of stuff to attach it to. That won't be a problem. All right, so that's actually pretty easy. I've got this hooked over into the other side, over on the passenger side. The spring pocket there, it's got a hole in the bottom, that perfect spot to hook into, and then we can tighten this up. And when we go to bang this all loose, that spring should stay right in place. It ain't gonna go flying across the room or nothing. I'm gonna position my jack just right underneath that ball joint, just about like that. Now I could take those nuts loose. Yeah, we can get these things out of the way now. We're safe as long as that jack is underneath there supporting everything. This will not be a problem, so don't forget the jack. That's really important. I know most of you guys know all of this, but in case we got some new guys watching, man, we want to be sure they know this kind of stuff, because first time messing with this, you might not think that's going to pop out of there. I don't know. That spring shouldn't go popping out of there. We'll still take it easy. There it is. Alrighty, now let's go see about this spring. Get this out of the way. Oh hell, that spring, it's still got a little bit of tension on it, but it's just going to come right out of there, no problem. I think once we slide this jack out from underneath it, there we go. Yeah, that's all it needed was that extra little bit, and it just come right on out of there. Alright, so I did a little digging around in my junk, and I finally found my lowering springs. You guys can see the difference. This is the one that just came out. This is the one going in. Slight little difference there. That ought to bring it down real nice. Between that and the drop spindle, we should have this thing sitting exactly the way I want it. But before we do that, we got to do a little more cleaning and a little more rust reforming. Go ahead and dust a little bit of this on there. Anytime I'm in an area trying to work on it, I like to clean it up and spray some of this on it before I leave that area behind. I think it's good for it, you know? Pardon the fan noise, y'all. Trying to blow some of these fumes away. Stuff gets pretty stout. See about getting this big old beast back on. Yeah. It's all there. Alright, we're going to put the spring in. Make sure that the bottom of your spring, the end of it here where the coil ends, goes into the little divot area that's made for it to sit in. It's kind of important. So now we should be able to drop the ball joint right down into the hole. Start the nut on the bottom side. We've got our shock reattached. We'll slide my cotter pin in here. Already got the bottom one there. Got everything tightened up. Next, we'll throw on the brake caliper. Before we throw the brake calipers on, I'm just going to take a little bit of grease and just kind of smear it on the contact points there where the caliper meets the spindle. Kind of help it out a little bit, keep it from making noise. Yeah, just a little bit right there, a little bit over here. That ought to do it. And then this will slide up in there like that. Fits right up inside of this little notch. And then that's where this will slide in at the bottom. So we got this little clip here, and it's kind of a two-piece thing, and it's got a notch for a bolt to go in. I'm gonna put that right on top of there, just like that. Put that right on top of there. Make sure it's on there perfectly flat. There we go. And then this needs to get slid into position like that. And then this is gonna slide right into there. Can y'all see that? We can tap it in with a hammer. And we're going to tap it in until this notch lines up with the bolt hole. Something like that. And then this is just going to go right in there. Obviously, that's what holds it in. Keeps it from falling back out. We'll tighten that up in just a minute. It just kind of creates a wedge. Kind of holds everything nice and tight. And that's it, man. That's all it gets. We'll get in here. We'll tighten this up. And then we're done with this side minus the tie rod end. We got to rehang that tie rod in, but I'm going to have to show you something here in case you're not aware. We'll do that in just a second. Let me get this done. So the way this is going to work on the tie rod end is it came off the truck like this, but it has to be flipped around and stuck on this drop spindle upside down now. Instead of being on top, it'll be on bottom. The reason being is because this is now raised up. That's the way a drop spindle is. All of this is up higher now. That brings the vehicle down lower. So if we stuck this on top the way it was, it would be at a weird angle, and we wouldn't want that. So we need this to be on the bottom. So we're just going to spin it a half a turn, stick it on there. I've already loosened these off, so this ought to spin over fairly easy. Only need to go half a turn, so it won't take much. And I know some of you guys are going to be like, well, isn't that going to mess up your alignment? Listen, man, when you go and lower your truck, the very first thing you're going to want to do is hit the alignment shop. That's just part of lowering your vehicle. That's just the way it is. You'll definitely want to get it realigned because you are changing like the geometry and all that scientific stuff. But as you can see, that was just a little minor adjustment, nothing major. We'll get this tightened up and we can throw our cotter pin in. There we go. Let's go ahead and get the wheel on it. Can anybody get an idea what it's going to look like now? Not sure if you can from that angle, but yeah, we definitely brought her down. I'm loving it so far. I'll let you guys see it here in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and get the other side knocked out, and then we'll come back over here and show y'all what it looks like. So this is how it works when the camera's not rolling. It worked just as good, didn't it? So this side's done too now. We'll get this thing down off the old jack stands. Come on now, there we go. Yeah, get it down off the old jack stands, let you guys see what it looks like. I seen it a minute ago, man. It's awesome. I hate leaving you guys in suspense, but it's gonna be worth the wait, I promise. So there she is, man. What do you guys think? I know some of y'all is probably gonna think it's too low. I kind of agree. I think maybe I might put the factory springs back in and raise it up maybe an inch, because by the time we take this out and drive it around, it's going to settle a little bit beyond this. So it'll actually be a good half an inch lower than this, and I think it's just going to be too much. Something else you guys might notice is that the tires are pretty tall. Before you guys say anything, look over here. I got these. They're just sitting around, and I thought I would ask you guys, what do y'all think about them? They got a low profile tire on them. It's a 60 series tire, I believe. And then that's an aluminum wheel, painted white. And then the center all chrome and everything. Looks kind of cool together, I think. I don't know, man. That would probably look a lot better on here than having these big old tall work truck tires. But dude, you have to admit, man, that's pretty dang aggressive looking. And it fits the rest of the truck, being kind of old and ratty looking a little bit. I just think that's great. Now, I know you guys are looking back here like, dude, this is up a mile too high. Well, no worries. We're going to take care of that too. But we're going to have to do that on the next video. I think these old videos like this are better kept just a little bit shorter. And most people don't really care about all this. They just want to see what it looks like later. So for all of you guys that are here following along with this build, and you're tuning into all these videos, I do appreciate it, man, because that's what makes all this possible. Thanks to you guys tuning in, liking the videos, and leaving comments and all that kind of stuff. Hit that old subscribe button, man. In fact, go back and check and make sure you're still subscribed, because YouTube will unsubscribe you without you even knowing it. So if you guys could check on that, I would appreciate it. For everybody watching that's not subscribed, man, hit the subscribe button if you will. I really do appreciate it. We're working really hard out here, and we want to keep these videos coming, man. I really am enjoying bringing this old truck back to life, and I've got several others sitting around here that we're kind of smack dab right in the middle of too, that I'd like to get back in here. And you guys watching these videos are making all of that possible, so greatly appreciate it, everybody. So yeah, anyway, I do need to go ahead and get on out of here. You guys, we're going to come right back with a video real soon, no worries. The next video will be lowering the back down, maybe a C-notch or something, not really sure yet, probably a C-notch. And then we got to shorten this truck so that that bed fits on there, and we want to get that bed actually mounted. So you guys stay tuned. Got plenty of stuff yet to come on this old truck, I promise you.